Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, is my devil's advocate, Nate.
If I want to see Mitch, I have to make an appointment.
That's unfortunately true. I'm a very busy guy, you know.
You're a very busy guy.
And Lisa.
I'm not going back to Gainesville.
Who would want to?
What an accent. That's
You know what? That is on par with any of the accents you're going to hear in this week's movie. So welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic. This week, we are talking a classic film, a film that Lisa has never seen. And this is on the list that we've been waiting and holding on for, to make sure that the original three of us here could all be together to talk about The Devil's Advocate, starring everyman Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. And
that every man's coked out uncle, Al Pacino.
Al Pacino is just,
he's next level
like
on this movie.
The final form. This is the final form that Nick Cage needs to take. He's not even close to that yet. People are like, oh, Cage is in all these movies, blah, blah. He has never even touched Al Pacino in this movie, I don't think. Amazing.
Yeah, there'll be some similarities we'll be talking about. Lisa, we won't get into too much just yet, obviously, but I mean, you hadn't seen this movie. You've been wanting to. Did it? What was it? Everything you were hoping it would be? Did it surpass your expectations, however low or high they may have been?
I don't know, because I literally, all I knew about this movie was that you guys kept talking about it. I kept getting it confused with Devil's Rejects.
Okay, well, those are two
totally different movies.
Very different movie.
One movie's amazing.
Al Pacino was in it, and that's all I knew, literally. Okay. I even forgot Keanu was in it until we were about to watch it, and then I saw his face. I was like, oh, Keanu's
accent. Forgot Keanu was in it for a while also.
So I don't know that I had any expectations going in. Obviously, we'll talk about whether I liked it or not, but yeah. Nate was saying right before we started the podcast that he doesn't want to watch trailers anymore. Because why, Nate? Because they're too spoilery?
Yeah, I'd rather go into the movie blind.
Exactly. And this one, I didn't even watch the trailer for this. I had no idea what it was about. That's the way
to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's starting to be. Yeah.
Hot take question. Accent. Which accent is better? Keanu Reeves, Gainesville lawyer, or Keanu Reeves, British insurance man in Bram Stoker's Dracula? Which accent
I don't even know.
is better?
Hey, Nate, it's the scene from The Office where Jenna Fisher's holding the two pictures. She goes, "It's the same picture. It's the same accent.
It's the same. It's not the same accent. It's the same quality of accent." But Lisa, you got to pick one. Which one is better? Which one did you believe more?
This one's not too bad.
Okay. All right.
Because this one, he kind of slips in and out of it.
He does.
Only when he's saying Gainesville, then he goes right into it.
Look, apologies to our Gainesville listeners. No one wants to be there.
No apologies. No apologies.
I mean, yeah, it's the real question for early Keanu Reeves movies, films are, did he have the same accent coach? And did he piss and did he piss off like what if he accidentally kicked this dude's dog and he like is like reverse John Wicking him, but instead of like being a hitman, he's a accent coach. And so this is just him like getting revenge.
So he's having him do the wrong accent.
Yeah, right.
I could see it.
I mean,
interesting.
We're going to talk. Okay. I have questions because I just cannot see someone. I don't know which movie came first, this or Dracula. And I just can't see someone seeing either of those movies. Well, I can't see someone seeing Dracula and be like, maybe it was just the wrong accent. Like I would have just said, like, we're just gonna forgo accents in this.
He's a master of accents.
Keanu Reeves was born in Lebanon. All right, he's a chameleon. He can do any. He's the Frank Caliendo of accent work, or not at all.
Well, listen, for our listeners, before we get into this, obviously, I am going to do as the sound engineer for the podcast. I will do everything I can to keep our sound levels, namely Nate's, as he yells Al Pacino things at me and Lisa. Although Lisa was also yelling Al Pacino things. So it's going to be a lot of yelling Al Pacino. Have your hands on your volume dials as necessary. You know, you may need to just quick turn. We'll try to warn you when an Al Pacino yell is coming. I don't know, maybe like a siren or something.
Mitch, you'll never see me coming.
What's worse, Nate? Keanu Reeves' accent or Al Pacino's screaming every single line?
Well, the answer is Keanu and everything, because Al Pacino screaming every line is the best.
Oh yeah,
best.
That's what people paid money for. You don't come to see Scarface play an understated role.
The thing about this movie that's so great is the person who wrote the. I need to look up who the writer is. But the person who wrote this movie, you know, they were writing this movie and they were just cackling. They were when it gets to the end, when Al Pacino is just straight up monologuing. I mean, this person had to be writing this and going this and just laughing and just cackling, going, "Yes, I did it. I'm in the middle of doing the greatest writing of all time." Because man, the ending of this movie is just superb. It's fantastic.
Like dialogue. Nate, I gotta imagine similar would be if you could write dialogue for Tommy Wiseau and you could just watch him saying the words you put to paper. I've got to imagine that would be the same feeling this guy must have.
Yeah. Call me dad.
Oh God. Well, with that, we are going to get into more of this incredible movie. Hopefully y'all had a chance to watch this. But before we do that, as always, let's have a little debate.
Bid our father, the Sea King, rise from the depths full, foul in his fury. Black waves teeming with salt foam, to smother this young mouth with pungent slime.
All right. Well, look.
I need to hear Al Pacino deliver those lines. Can we get like a table read? Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Bid our father, the Sea King, with pungent slime. Just yelling it the whole time. It'd be great. You got a better Pacino. Yeah, you got a better Pacino. I'd like to.
He goes. But give us your best. Is you can't. The thing that's different about Pacino is that he goes soft loud.
Yeah.
He's like, "What you want?" And then I got it. It's like loud, soft, loud, soft. That's the key. That is the key to the amazingness.
But our father is AK. Yeah, it's not good. I'm not. My Pacino. We'll stop that. But yeah, I agree. You got to. There's a delicate balance. It's not all yell.
Exactly. It's like I went to the grocery store and she said 5 cents for change. He just mixes it up. I don't know. It's amazing. But Pacino's not great.
Nate, look, because mine's not great either. So take it with you told me to, go kiss my ass. But your Pacino sounded a little bit more like Nick Kroll doing Al Pacino.
I'll take that.
And that's not
as
bad.
100% compliment. That's 100% compliment.
All right, so look, in this movie, the devil tries to win people and win people over using some some of the seven deadly sins, right? There's something that appeals.
Well, the
to
devil
everyone.
is tempting people in a variety of ways.
Right. Exactly. So my question to y'all is, which way would the devil get you? Like, how would the devil tempt you? And Nate, I'll kick it over to you first, because I feel like you already have something locked and loaded.
I do have something locked and loaded for me. And I don't know about a deadly sin, because I don't know all of them. There's one sloth. Other than that,
and you know it's not the animal. It's not just moving like the animal, right?
Did you say deadly six?
Deadly sins.
Oh, sins. I was like, Nate, there's 7. There was even a whole movie. We haven't done that one for the podcast, have we?
We have not done 7.
Oh man, add that to the list. That's a classic.
I don't know. I think 7's overrated. So she made me watch.
Would you like to? Hey, look, if you'd like to hear me yell "What's in the box" and drop that on Nate about 50 times in an hour and a half, give us a 5-star review.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Oh yeah. What's in the box?
Okay, so my answer is how is the devil going to tempt me? In this movie, the devil is tempting Keanu Reeves in a variety of ways, using his ego toward the end, trying to use his vanity. He's vain. He likes to win, right? Those are the ways he's trying to get him. Me, I think the devil would be even more insidious. For me, that kind of shit, like ego, whatever, no chance. I'm noping out, and I'm sure Lisa, we can agree with me. I'm noping out so early in this movie. Like, oh, you're giving me a free apartment? I'm suspicious. I'm out. Like that, it would be very early for me. But I think the devil would get me. They'd be like, hey, I can give you like the ability to like really help people like really fast, right? Like, things are broken. Wouldn't it be nice to just kind of wave a magic wand and like change things and help people? And I'd be like, that sounds really cool. And then it always turns, right? It always would turn terrible. And that's how the devil would get me. I'd have to keep
which sin is that?
It doesn't matter. It's just that's the way he comes to give. Oh, you think the devil's like, oh, I have to check one of these boxes to get this guy? No, this is going to be Nate, Al Pacino.
Wait, hold on. Yes, of course he has to do one. I mean, you can't if you're doing something that would help you get into heaven. Why would the devil want you to do that? That's the whole.
It's because it always turns bad. That's the whole.
How would you helping people turn bad?
It starts helping people, but then it hurts more other people. That's how it would be like, be careful what you wish for kind of deal. Kind of like this whole movie.
Yeah.
You guys are really stuck on these 7 deadly sins. They really do a number on you in that Catholic school.
I think your answer's bullshit, because I know for a fact all he would have to do is just say, hey, I think I'm the best captain in Sea of Thieves, and you would spend an hour and a half telling him how you've parked some ridiculous sort of way, which leads right into vanity, and boom, gotcha. Like,
no, I think I would.
Look, for our listeners, okay, so Sea of Thieves, again, we've mentioned it a couple times, but it's a pirate game online, and me and Nate and a couple of our friends play every Friday, and Nate takes it upon himself to collect every dynamite barrel in the game and has to go and explode. And spoiler alert, he usually takes out us, like our ship in the process.
Very rarely.
But it's always a good time.
Okay,
if you want to hear Nate talk about how great of a captain he is and how great he is at driving,
I relinquished that role.
Vanity would be.
What if when the keg explodes and it takes our boat down? What if I yelled like Al Pacino while it was happening?
That would be.
What if the bomb went off and I go, hooah? If I did that,
I will let everyone know when to turn their volume down in post when these Al Pacino lines are coming at you. It would be better. This boat's got a lot of water. God, that's so bad. I need to practice this. I apologize. I'm just gonna stop. Anyway, yes.
Okay. What's yours then? If mine, I don't know why you didn't like mine, but what's yours then?
That's yours is the equivalent.
This is Nate's like, let's have this debate question so that the whole world can know how selfless I am.
I'm saying
your answer is
turn me down a bad path. Obviously,
your answer
start wanting to help people, and then it would snowball downward. That's what I'm saying.
Your answer is the equivalent of an interview when they say, "What's your biggest fault?" And you say, "The biggest fault, I care too much. I love too hard, and I'm too loyal." Yeah, that's what yours is. Like, I would help so many people, and it just wouldn't always work out for everyone. Like, shut the fuck up. Come on.
No. It would start in a way where I was trying to help people, and then it would turn and it would hurt more people, right? And then I would just keep spiraling down, and eventually I would be in the devil's clutches. That would be
mine. Would be wrath, because I would punch you for that.
Okay. You might snap me out of it. Hope maybe that would help. I don't know. All right, what's yours, Mitch?
Oh man, what is mine? How would he tempt me? I don't know.
Imagine an Al Pacino interview. Can you imagine him like interviewing for a real like a grocery store job like today? Can you imagine how that would even go?
Then I put the eggs in the bag.
You want paper or plastic? Yeah, I know. It
would be good. It'd be really good.
Yeah, please. All right. I need to hear better. I need Frank Caliendo level Chino impressions. If you have a good impression, send it our way. I want to hear it. I mean, for me, I mean, look, vanity is always going to get me. So the whole moving on up, being offered the opportunity to be the best at something.
You're going to sell your soul to be the best musician or something along those lines.
We look, as long as we have the preeminent horror podcast in the world, Nate, I think it's all worth it.
Wait, do you have another podcast I do not know about?
No, we're gonna talk to like Ari Aster and everyone. We're just shoot up. Yeah, that would be. That's how he gets me. But then of course we get to the top, and like the only movies left are M. Night Shyamalan films in the world or something.
I'm okay with it. What? So you're gonna say you're gonna be like the Great Fazio from Leprechaun 3 instead of a magician? You're gonna be a musician. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I'm actually going to do the fire magic trick I've been talking about the whole movie.
But when you play, like you want to play a concert in front of everybody, you want to play. You're like, I want to go to Caesar's Palace, and that's like part of your wish. That would be amazing.
Yes,
that would be awesome. All right.
All right. So Lisa, what about music?
What musical genre? Well, hold on. What musical genre are you getting big in? Because there's a variety. Remember when in Queen of the Damned, previous episode, definitely check that out. New metal, vampire new metal is how they got popular. That's right. What are you doing? Which genre of music is going to propel you with this? This vanity thing you got going on.
Well, okay. So if it's me, like if it's my music, then yeah, it's going to be that new metalcore EDM kind of hybrid thing, right? But given that nothing technically ever works out right for you, it's probably going to be like Irish folk music or something. It's going to be something real weird, and I'm going to hate it. Like it's going to be something I hate, right? Yeah. Like it's going to be, I was going to be country. God damn it, he's going to make me the biggest country star ever, and I'm going to hate myself. Would be it.
Big and Mitch.
Oh my God, I become Chris Gaines. Mitch Gaines.
I like Big and Mitch.
Big and Mitch was good. I like that. I like that. Big and Mitch.
I don't know am I big?
Who's big?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I don't want to be big. No, I know way too many of their songs, unfortunately. What? That would
they did the Ride a Cowboy, right? Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. That's all I know from them.
Yeah, that's.
I knew Garth Brooks growing up, and that's about it.
I know way too much. Lisa, please save us. How is the devil?
Save us from Big and Mitch.
Yeah, save us from. Save us from Big and. I like Big and Mitch.
See, mine is too easy now, I think, because there's a scene in Harry Potter where. Don't laugh, Mitchell. Where they need to get some hair off of the bullies so they can use a polyjuice potion to turn into them. And so they literally just leave out cupcakes with a potion to knock them out. They're like, we'll just leave it in their line of view. And they're like, oh, free cupcakes. Yum. That would be me. For sure. He just leaves out like a gluten-free cupcake. I'm like, oh, don't mind if I do.
The devil opens up a gluten-free like grocery just to lure you in and then that's how it happens. That would be
easily. A good gluten-free treat is hard to find. Okay.
That is. Oh, Mitch. Oh, where's that in the 7 Deadly Sins? Gluten-free restaurant. Where is that at? Tell me where that is.
That's gluttony.
Gluttony?
Gluttony.
Yes. It
Nice.
was right there for the taking.
Right there. Okay. All right. That's very specific. I like that.
Yeah.
Way more specific than mine.
All right. Well, we want to know what else you would do or how you would get trapped or tricked by the devil. Let us know at TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre at gmail.com, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. For our YouTube subscribers, we have not been able to get some videos uploaded, and that is entirely due to me not getting that done for technical reasons. So by next month, starting next week, we'll be back on our normal YouTube stuff. So you'll get to see our faces. There'll still be the audio will still get pushed out, so you can still listen to it there. But yeah, we'll start having the videos back up here. In time for next month.
I'm doing an episode. I'm just happy I'm doing an episode with people again. Oh,
I know. Thank you for holding down the fort.
It was a lonely week. It's me and the call, and I did not want to answer, but I had to.
We appreciate you doing.
Thanks for holding down the fort, Nate.
That's right.
No problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
He did it for all. He did it for all the fans, specifically in Idaho.
For you.
No.
That said,
I did despite Idaho. That's the only reason I keep going.
For your haters that are waiting to watch you fall in Idaho. You probably have more haters in Idaho than fans. That's for sure.
I don't know. Do they even get podcasts there? I don't even know if they can have haters.
I don't know. I assume the corn. I assume all the corn has 5G.
Yeah, maybe you put like a science project where you would put like 2 ends of a potato and like the electricity would go through it. I'm assuming that's how the series of tubes that has the internet there is just all potato based.
Yeah. I did enjoy I did enjoy that you did
potato-based electronic system.
You did the call. I applaud you for your restraint to not start the episode with the Backstreet Boys song of the same name.
I never even thought.
Oh, that was the first thing I thought of. I did also enjoy.
I was going to Call Me Maybe. I was going to do Call Me Maybe. That was my pick.
That would not have been as good. The Backstreet Boys, the call would have been infinitely better. But
I don't know if that's a whole lot different.
But what I loved about it is that it was requested by us. You did it, and then the person who requested was like, "Oh man, this was bad. I don't know why I asked to do this with it."
No worries. No worries.
Look, you know what? Sometimes I think you never know what movie we're gonna pick if you send us, especially if you send us a couple. So, just be
give us a 5-star review. Call us anytime, day or night. Blondie. There you go. I don't know how many call references.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there. Let's get into this week's movie of the week, The Devil's Advocate.
A young attorney has the chance of a lifetime.
Milton Chadwick Waters. We want you to come to New York. All expenses, first class, travel and lodging, you and your wife.
Oh my God.
He will enter a place of wealth and ambition.
We've got 40 partners vested at the moment. In addition to our corporate clients, we're currently representing about 25 foreign countries. He's got you scheduled for 15 minutes, so make the most of it.
John Milton.
Kevin Lomax.
Well, what's that like? One day you're putting them away, next day you're setting them free.
Takes a little getting used to.
Pays better though, doesn't it?
Welcome to Babylon, Ma.
Speak of the devil.
A world of power and seduction.
Who's that with the senator?
Controlled by one man.
I swear he can hear us. Hell, he can smell us.
He will make your dreams come true.
Want to come upstairs and...
Now?
He will grant your fondest wish.
I'm just warming my hands on your talent. You know what I see? I see the future of this law firm.
He knows your greatest fear.
Milton is into everything. Arms brokering, chemical weapons, toxic waste, money laundering for the Eastern Bloc. I mean, it goes on and on.
I don't like it here, Kevin.
And he knows the price of your soul.
Let's make a deal.
Who are you? Oh, I have so many names. I'm here on the ground with my nose in it since the whole thing began. God likes to watch. He's an absentee landlord.
Keanu Reeves.
He's always been there. I know that now.
Al Pacino.
As God sleeps late.
We will win. It's my time now. The Devil's Advocate.
I love the flame sound effects and the choir in the background.
Dude, this movie is a lot of things, but it is not subtle. The subtlety in this is lacking.
Your name's John.
I'm okay with it.
Your name's John Milton, huh? Where have I heard that before?
Paradise Lost. Loved it.
Yeah.
It was so good. I have a whole section on Paradise Lost in my notes. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I've read it numerous times, so it was very apparent all the things that are there. Look, Lisa, I gotta ask, as our unsuspecting victim, tell me about this movie. How would you describe this to someone if you were pitching this in an elevator? What's the pitch for this film?
Al Pacino spends 2 hours yelling at people.
That's every Al Pacino movie. What makes this a different Al Pacino movie?
That's all you need to know. That's all I knew going in.
In this movie, he yells specifically at Keanu Reeves for most of it.
Yes. Keanu's vanity gets the best of him. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Not everything is as it seems.
Yeah. So Keanu is a hotshot upstart lawyer from Gainesville, which, to be fair, I mean, Florida, crazy ass crime happening all the time. So, I mean, if he's defending every Florida headline you've ever seen, kudos to him. He must be an incredible lawyer. So he goes up to New York and, is taken under the wing of one John Milton. Hilarity ensues.
Very on the nose. Love it.
Nate, what can you tell us about The Devil's Advocate?
The Devil's Advocate came out October 17th, 1997. It is rated R. You can watch it on HBO Max. You can also if you have HBO Max, you can also watch next week's movie. Spoiler, a little bit of spoiler there. Runtime, 144 minutes. Felt like it was 30 minutes, baby. This thing blew by. Loved it. Didn't feel long at all. Lisa, did it feel long?
Considering we had to watch it over 2 separate nights, yes, it felt long.
Okay, wow, that'll do it. I did watch it in two sittings also. Tagline. They're all bad. Speak of the devil. That one's okay. Yeah. Devil begins and wins.
What? Right. Your tagline does not need to be a thinker. Let's
yeah. Absentee landlord.
That was good. Oh, that was that may have been the best Pacino of the episode.
That should have been the tagline. I don't know. Evil has its winning ways. The newest attorney at the world's most powerful law firm has never lost a case, period. But he's about to lose his soul, period. That's not a tagline. That's just a really short synopsis. That's just bad.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. So it is a shockingly high 7.5 on IMDb. I did not know that this movie was as well liked by others. I clearly like it. The budget was $57 million. Can you imagine a movie like this type of movie getting made now? Like there's not movies like this anymore.
No, yeah.
It's like a mid-budget movie where one person's the devil, one person's a lawyer. I mean, and you're just in New York, you're in Florida. It goes batshit crazy. They don't make these kind of movies anymore. It's weird.
Yeah,
it made 153 million. So boom, it did fairly well in the box office. The director of this is Taylor Hackford. Taylor Hackford, career all over the place. He did An Officer and a Gentleman. Richard Gere. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. They took a little Phil Collins turn. Who doesn't with Against All Odds music video? He did some Lionel Richie music videos as well. Did a documentary on Chuck Berry. And then he did Mitch's favorite Stephen King adaptation, Dolores Claiborne.
Of course.
They did this movie. Then he did Ray with Jamie Foxx, right? And then he did the last kind of big movie he did was The Comedian with Robert De Niro. So he got his Pacino and De Niro in his career. Guy's kind of fallen off a little bit, but some pretty big movies in there. The main star of the movie is, like you said, Everyman Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves from previous episodes, Bram Stoker's Dracula and Constantine. He is in all of the movies. He's in all the movies. Let's see. 2019, he was in Toy Story 4. This year, he's going to be in Matrix 4. Yeah, this year he's going to be in Matrix 4. Next year, he's going to be in John Wick Chapter 4. If there's a movie with a 4
another
in it,
one,
there is a solid chance.
They already said there's going to be a final John Wick.
And a 5 potentially also. So 4 and 5.
Eventually there will be a final John Wick.
And he was in Bill and Ted Face the Music last year, but it was only the 3rd movie. So So come on, Keanu, what are you doing here? And he was in last year. He was also in the SpongeBob movie, A Sponge on the Run, and he was in Between Two Ferns. This guy's all over the place. A bunch of stuff. I guess some horror films that he's been in: Neon Demon, The Bad Batch. He was in that terrible Eli Roth movie called Knock Knock. I don't know if you remember that one, Mitch, at all.
I remember it. It wasn't good.
Yeah. He was in the best Matrix movie, Matrix Reloaded, and the rest. His wife in the movie, Marianne, in her kind of first big role, is Charlize Theron, who's now a massive Oscar-winning movie star. Her first credit on IMDb is Eli's follower, uncredited, Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest. That's right. We got a Children of the Corn. Been a while. It's been a while since we went in the cornfield. Then she was in Devil's Advocate. She was in with Keanu Reeves again, and I believe in that movie Sweet November. She was in the Italian Job remake, Aeon Flux, blah blah blah. Horror movie. I would consider it a horror movie, The Road, because it is one of the most depressing movies ever. She killed herself early in the movie, so no worries there. She was in Prometheus as the daughter of the main guy. She was, I guess, a villain in Snow White and the Huntsman. That's a villain, right?
Yeah.
Sure. And those two.
She was the queen. She was the stepmother.
Yeah, she's like the bad one, right? Yeah, she's like I said, she's Waylon's daughter in Prometheus. She was in I guess. Well, there's 2 Atomic Blondes. That's coming. Old Guard, not really a horror movie, but it's a solid action movie. She was an executive producer for Mindhunter, not in it, but she executive produced it. Mitch, that's your sweet spot right there. True crime, not true crime, I guess. And yeah, I guess that's mostly it, unless you want to count Mad Max, the horror movie, which there's definitely horrifying elements. Then we got Mr. Al Pacino himself, not really one to be in horror movies unless you count his turn as Big Boy Caprice in Dick Tracy, which is horrific, which is horrifying. I don't know if you're a big Dick Tracy fan, Mitch, but
I remember watching the movie a lot when I was younger.
He's hilarious in that. Al Pacino has been in all the movies. This high recommendations: Panic in Needle Park is really good. Godfather Part 2 is really good. Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, and Justice for All, which he plays a lawyer, not unlike this movie. So there you go. You get Devil's Advocate, Donnie Brasco. Any Given Sunday, take Al Pacino, have him yell, but on the sideline of a football field. It doesn't get any better than that at all. Then now he's in his phase where he's literally playing every historical old man real character that's ever existed. He's been Jimmy Hoffa. He's been Joe Paterno. He's been Phil Spector. He's been Jack Kevorkian. He's going to be the guy who started Gucci, apparently, in a movie that's filming now. And just to make it even more ridiculous and to ham it up and eat the scenery even more, he will be playing King Lear. So you want to see crazy yelling Pacino? Look, he's already 80 years old. So get it while you can, because I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. In this movie, there's a lot of stuff. I'll skip it because I've already taken too long, but I'll sprinkle in some stuff in this movie. But needless to say, this movie, it seems like it's like nothing, right? It seems like, oh yeah, this is just a fun whatever movie. But apparently they put a lot of effort into a lot of themes in this movie that don't really make, like, you don't really see them as much in the first time. Like the second and third time, or as I've seen it, maybe like 6 or 7 times because I'm ridiculous. You definitely start to notice it. So this movie is actually a little bit deeper than you might think. And I'm going to tell that to Lisa, I guess, because I'm assuming you weren't really looking into the overarching themes of everything that was happening in this one. Because you're like, Keanu Reeves has a terrible accent. Charlize Theron is just starting
losing
out
it.
And Al Pacino is just yelling at everyone. What is happening? Yeah, that's Devil's Advocate. There you go.
Now, interesting. I didn't want to jump into one thing, but so, with Charlize Theron, she wins her Academy Award for Monster, where she plays Eileen Wuornos, who's a pretty famous serial killer. Do you know who directed that movie, Nate?
Who directed Monster?
Yeah.
I do not know.
Patty Jenkins, who would later go on to direct the Wonder Woman movies.
Sure.
Of course you would find a connection.
Everyone is doing superhero movies. The lady in this one who's, Keanu Reeves' sister, it was like one of the queens of the Amazons or something. I mean, everyone.
Yeah. So the other, and like, it's like 6 degrees of separation of Wonder Woman. Yeah. Connie Nielsen ends up playing in Wonder Woman as well. She was also the wife in Gladiator. Oh no, the sister in Gladiator.
The sister in Gladiator. Yeah.
Which. Awesome. The other thing, so I want to ask you this. So, Nate, you mentioned that this movie did very well in the box office, and that's not wholly accurate. It did well in totality, but domestically it did not do well. It only just made its money back.
It was too much for the.
Yeah.
So
50
complex.
It made 60 million gross in the US. 57 million bucks. Just that. Now it is 152 worldwide. I'm curious, Nate. Would you like to guess some of the countries where it was really big?
Oh yes, I would love it. I'm gonna go with Denmark. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Oh, it's fine. There's not a whole lot of information on here. I'll just give you
Japan.
That's sad for me.
Yeah. No. Actually, Brazil, Germany, and Spain seem to have the biggest number of folks.
I could see it.
Nice.
I mean, apparently, theater admissions, at least reported by July 16th of 1998, Brazil had almost 2 million theater admissions.
Nice. Brazil getting them in.
Spain was 1.5 million, and then Germany over several weeks was getting like 500,000 or so. So Germany loves Al Pacino, clearly.
Who doesn't? Come on, US.
All right. So look, let's talk about this movie. I like this movie a lot. I love his terrible ass accent. This movie is such a who's who of people later on, because it's like there's so many people in it that you're like, oh shit, I forgot this person's in there. Like they weren't huge stars at the time this movie was made, outside of maybe Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, right? I particularly love just the creepiness of everyone he defends in this movie. All the defendants could have had their own like Law and Order SVU episode dedicated just to that. Like I could totally see this being remade as a made for TV, like a mini series, right? And being, you know, like a single season, but each case is a new kind of case a week, and it's really kind of building more of that insidiousness.
It could be a TV show. It could
be that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you
know, I wouldn't do it multiple seasons, but yeah, you could, because I mean, you could get into some crazy stuff and watch his like career take off until he gets to that like 66th win.
He won 66 cases,
which I mean, the number 666. I know we were like 66. That's not the number. It's just because you got two of them doesn't, you know, you don't get credit when you play the lotto and you get 5 out of 6 numbers. They don't.
Maybe it was like in 6 jurisdictions.
Oh God, no, maybe that's
right?
Maybe
that's
what it was.
Yeah, maybe that was it. 6 counties.
Lisa, what was your overall thoughts? You hadn't seen this movie. I'm curious what you.
Yeah, it was just a big bag of crazy. I don't know. It was like you said, there was a lot of people that kept popping up, and I'm like, oh, that he's in this. Oh, he's in that. Coach is in this. What's going on? So yeah, I haven't decided. I mean, I know we're not at the end of the podcast, but I haven't decided my rating yet. I'm still waffling because it was just crazy.
Yes, I mean we start this movie in Gainesville. I really, again, I don't know who he pissed off, his accent coach. Why they felt the need? Why did they look at him and just go, "Hey, maybe we try a Florida accent, maybe Eastern or maybe European just wasn't the right fit." But
I mean,
Florida,
let me ask you this, Nate. You grew up in the North, right?
Sure. Yes.
For the most part, Mitch and I grew up in the deep South. Do we sound
Southwest.
super Southern to you?
You're from the South. Texas is like the South. Well, Texas is like the Southwest. Mitch is from the South.
Okay, fine. Does Mitch have an accent
from
to
the
you?
South with an F?
The South?
The
South.
The dirty South. Yeah, Mitch doesn't have as much of an accent as other people from the same area.
So maybe Keanu just needed to talk in whatever God-given voice he had.
Look, I'm not a good example because I don't have much of an accent. Only when I'm around like family and friends.
Yes, and you can say you're from Louisiana and no one is going to be like, oh, it's fine. Not everyone has to have an accent.
Well, yeah, but he's supposed to be playing a hick from Florida, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's.
I mean,
ever since his accent in Bill and Ted,
Louisiana,
right?
much different than hick from Florida. Let's just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like, I guess surfer is that his best accent?
Whoa,
like California surfer is his best accent, and even that's not great. But he's got the Keanu accent. That's all you really.
Yeah.
You know, I'm starting to think I don't even know what Keanu sounds like in real life. I have to go back and watch an interview.
Yeah, I don't.
What if all we ever heard Keanu does is an accent, and he's doing a bad accent on top of a good accent to hide his real voice?
And what if he sounds like? What if he like literally has like a straight up like Central American accent? Like what?
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
That would be pretty sweet. Oh my goodness! All right, so we see him defending Lloyd Geddes, a school teacher who is being charged with child molestation. So right off the bat, fun movie, fun for the whole kids and the whole family. What did you think about him as a lawyer? I'm curious, Nate. Is this the guy you want defending you? He's berating. A little girl.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. Did not care for that part. As a lawyer, I mean, seems pretty good. I don't know. The judge was giving him a lot of leeway. I don't know if you watch Children's Hospital at all, but there's an episode called Children's Hospital or they it's just a court case. And,
no, I haven't seen that.
Reginald Vell Johnson from Family Matters is the judge, and he's like, it's like, I'll allow it, but you better be going somewhere, counselor. Says it about 7 times in a row, almost exactly the same as the judge in this movie. He just lets them keep going. It does not matter. So it was I loved that part of it. His lawyering was fine. It was solid. I would love to have seen Al Pacino lawyer up is what I would have loved to have seen in this one.
Oh man, that would have been, you see, that would have been better had he had to defend. This movie should have been him defending Al Pacino in a crime.
Oh, that could have been good.
And he literally be the devil's advocate.
All right. So, that actually would have been great.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'd have been good. Okay.
Here, I'll tell you what I have an issue. Have you ever seen it's a Richard Gere film, Primal, I think. Primal Fear.
Yes, I have seen
this Edward movie Norton. Is like shades of Primal Fear.
Sure.
Which is a significantly better movie.
Than this movie?
Yeah.
Nah, I disagree.
Primal Fear is awesome. No, it's such a good movie. Richard Gere and Edward Norton is a much different pairing than Al Pacino, Keanu Reeves.
It's less fun. Actually, Richard Gere was up for John Milton in this movie. Would have been terrible.
Agreed.
He would have been terrible.
I could not come up with a different person to play either of these roles.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine a single different person as
give me one of the Jonas Brothers, or give me one of the Jonas Brothers, or give me like Delroy Lindo in this movie.
Well, who would you have gotten here? Like James Vanderbeek as the Keanu Reeves character?
I do want this life. And he has the southern accent.
This
stays
acquittal.
The same. And the southern accent stays the same. Lisa, would you like James Vanderbeek better in this movie?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, good.
No.
Bring us back.
But I'm a big Keanu fan.
His wife is Katie Holmes, and it's perfect now.
You could replace almost everyone else in this movie, leave Keanu, and I still would have watched it.
All right. We need to get more Keanu movies. There's not a whole lot of horror-based ones, but we can work something
We've done Dracula. We've done this.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Paul Rubens is John
Milton. We did Constantine. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Rubens is John. Or what? I can't even do it.
What was that? That was Kanye.
That was not high pitched. Yeah. You nailed that. You crushed that. That was very. I need to stick to the Pacino. All right, Lisa.
The word of the day is vanity.
Yeah.
You said the magic word.
Holy shit. You have a good Pee Wee Herman. How did I not?
I don't know that I want that.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. Elmo and Pee Wee Herman. You're locked in for life now.
He's only seen Pee Wee Herman's
Pee Wee's Big Adventure for like.
That's all you need. You don't need anything else. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So let's get back to. Okay. So he goes.
Hold on. I gotta get. So there's a variety of clients. The movie's so long. We can't even. There's a lot of clients. Who is your favorite client of his? And it's a murderer's row terribleness. Who's your favorite client? We got a gropey McTeacher who's very sleazy and terrible. We got Delroy Lindo killing goats in his basement. We got Craig T. Nelson, who's attempted multi-murder.
Alleged.
Hey,
all these men were found not guilty by a jury of their peers.
Yeah, who is the best out of that?
I mean, clearly the goat killer, dude, because like he just killed the goat.
He's the goat of this group.
He was practicing. He was just practicing his.
He didn't just kill a goat.
He was just practicing his religion.
He did not just kill a goat.
What a defense!
He was just practicing his religion. Are you not familiar with kosher laws?
Yeah.
Which I don't think Keanu is either.
When I was walking on the beach, the goat carried me. It turns into hooves on the beach.
God.
Speaking of goats, you can definitely a witch. There's got to be a witch reference somewhere,
right?
Okay. So sorry, Lisa. So was Delroy Lindo the goat killer?
I mean, if I have to pick somebody, I guess I'm not going to pick a murderer or child molester.
They also can hurt people, with some sort of witchcraft.
With the voodoo?
Yeah, some sort of witchcraft.
Well, it looked like he was really good friends with Al Pacino, so there was something going on there.
Yeah. Well, then
but by that same instance,
has a girl in the trunk at the end of the movie that you find that you tell them about.
Oh, got it. So. Yeah, I mean, by that same token, the guy in Chinatown that knows the tic-tac-toe chicken's a good friend with Al Pacino too. I don't know. That guy seemed like he was on the up and up.
Everybody.
Well, how do you think that chicken can play tic-tac-toe so well?
God damn.
I'm just saying.
My mind
oh no. Oh no.
Oh boy.
So let's talk about the worst
this
husband.
Chicken needs to win every tic-tac-toe match. What's it going to take?
I mean, yeah. I'm looking through my notes. It's all about how Keanu Reeves is the worst husband of all time. Can we talk about this?
Is he the worst?
Oh, he's bad.
He's bad. Is he the worst? Hey, we've watched a lot of terrible husbands.
He's not Lifetime movie years. Poisoning them. It's not like a Lifetime husband poisoning somebody, but he's bad.
I mean, is he worse than Rosemary's Baby?
Here are my notes. In that whole sequence with Charlize Theron's character. I said Rosemary's painter, and then I said Rosemary's decorator, and then I said Rosemary's interior decorator, and then I said Rosemary's shopper. That the whole sequence was just Rosemary's Baby. They did like a mini 25-30 minute Rosemary's Baby montage with Charlize Theron's character, which I thought was great. Keanu Reeves is just so bad in this. I have like some caps lock bad. I just put bad husband : and then just everything that Keanu Reeves is saying. It's like his wife's breaking down. What do you want? His wife's breaking down from like, I'm going crazy. I saw things. I don't feel safe. Keanu Reeves, let's make a baby. no follow up. He's so bad. Oh, it was. I don't. What do you think, Lisa? Am I overestimating how terrible he was?
No. Well, he was bad. He was he was a horrible husband for sure.
Horrible. Thank you.
It's so. What?
Oh, nothing.
Oh yeah! Wow!
Oh no! I want to hear this.
Wow!
He's not the worst husband. Look,
he is terrible in this. He's terrible.
Look, he do questionable things, of course.
Oh, wow! Now Mitch is lawyering on this. Oh,
all I'm saying is, it's hard to get a sense of timing, even in a 2.5-hour film, of how long this all goes down. Right? Like these court cases take like a day. But in reality, this is like months, right? I don't know. I feel like he's set up as at least very plausible. Like he's not so. Does he make decisions he's probably shouldn't? Sure. Is he like the worst husband that's ever occurred in horror movies?
Was he following his religious beliefs? Is what you're saying?
No, but do you not have some sort of like sympathy or empathy for the whole, like, I don't want to, if she gets better, and then I think it's plausible for a character to have that sort of feeling. That
the character Marianne says, I can't have children. I went to the doctor. I can't have children. Keanu Reeves.
Well, they're finding cures every day. It's
Keanu Reeves' answer. You're being ridiculous. I mean, you see her eyes die. Great acting by Charlize Theron early in her career. Sure. You see her eyes die inside like 3 to 4 times in this movie from how terrible Keanu Reeves is. Like they're having sex and he's like clearly thinking about this woman he just met / who ends up being his sister. And she just dies inside. And that's after she said, I'm having a mental breakdown. He's like, let's make a baby. And then that happens. I mean, it's
well, but that's what she wanted. Coming. She wanted a baby though. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like it's not like he's just saying that out of the blue. That's what she wanted. She wanted a baby. So he's trying to give her what he thinks she wants.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, oh yeah,
to go to a psychiatric ward. That's what she wants.
That's what she wanted.
That was after she showed up naked. I'm
gonna drop her off in a psychiatric ward.
Okay,
hold
on.
Not send her back to her hometown where she has friends and family. I'm gonna put her in a psychiatric ward so I can work 20 hours a day.
You're being
trying to get off Craig
you're
Nelson
being
and
a little
multi-murder.
unfair here. She's in church, clearly assaulted or whatever, but she's saying that the person who did it is the person. Hold on.
Clearly assaulted or whatever.
But listen to me.
Oh no.
She is saying that it was done by someone who he was in a room with the entire day.
Yeah.
Pause.
She's clearly a danger to herself.
No. Stop. And what did I turn to you and say when we got to this part of the movie? When she said that this happened, what did I turn to you right at that moment and say? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I said, if I ever tell you some bullshit like this, you better believe me.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
He was just arguing the exact opposite.
It's not what I would do.
He was just arguing.
But I get it.
Opposite.
If you think your wife is hurting herself, then the psychiatric treatment makes sense.
You should have said, I rest my case. That's what you should have just said, I rest my case.
Done.
And been done. It's over.
Anyway.
The defense rests.
Ooh, all right. He's not. My point is, he's not the worst. He's bad. He's obviously he's so not a great husband. But
so then Milton. Let's get into Milton, right? So there's the firm Milton and some. I even forgot the other person's name, like Milton, Cheatham, whatever.
Yeah, these partners who we never meet or hear of ever.
They're all doing the Indonesia stuff or whatever. They're doing the shadiest things. Apparently arms deals. Just every type of everything bad ever. They're shredding documents. They're doing all kinds of shady stuff. Al Pacino seems, he's the devil. You learn that later on. So he can go into church, but he can't go where the seats are. I don't know what the rules are here.
Yeah, that's what I asked Mitch too. I was I thought he couldn't go in a church.
He could put his hand in the holy water, but it burns him a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, a little singy. He seems to be doing fine. He seems to be doing great. The devil is doing he's crushing it as this lawyer guy, nailing it actually. He's got a multi, international lawyer conglomerate / arms dealing / probably human trafficking, whatever else kind of thing. Seems to be doing pretty well. I don't know why he's knocking up rando people. I guess he has so many kids. I guess he does say that later.
Oh yeah,
he has so many kids. He's like, if I have 1,000 kids, one will be an amazing trial lawyer.
I was just playing the numbers game.
Right?
Yeah,
he's playing the numbers game. Okay, that's fair. Okay, well then it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, he's just he's having sex with people, seducing people, getting people just to commit rando crimes just on the subway. If you watch this movie a second time, Lisa, and you see everything, you'll see things like, he's like, oh yeah, I've lost big before, and then Charlize Theron's like, the only thing worse than not having a dad is having my dad. And then Al Pacino's like, yeah, I know the feeling. And so if he's the devil, there's all these things like that later on. You're like, this is real good. This is real good. And he's like, oh yeah, I've lost big before. Like, oh, you got kicked out of heaven because he's the devil. There's great stuff like that. That when you watch it again, that it kind of, it boosted my enjoyment of the movie just because, you can now see these little jabs that Al Pacino's making. In general, do we think Al Pacino did a good job as John Milton? Lisa, what do you think? Did he do a good job?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, not just because he was Yelly McYellerson the whole time, but Al Pacino can pull off that really creepy, just I'm manipulating everyone kind of look.
He's certainly a more fun Satan or Lucifer, right? I mean, he's certainly if you're wanting someone where he's excellent at is in those scenes where he is trying to tempt him away with like the parties and the women and the fame and all that stuff. I mean, all that one-on-one dialogue. He doesn't really work. I think to your point of like watching him do a case, I think he wouldn't have worked if you saw him more active in the courtrooms and stuff like that.
He's in and out. He's bobbing and weaving more.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I mean, in Constantine, Keanu Reeves is going against Peter Stormare, right, as the devil. Yeah. These are drastically different takes on the devil. That's for sure. That was like an unhinged white suit guy. Although I would have loved to have seen him in this movie too. So.
If anything, like you said, when we get to the ending, the ending is the only thing that kind of just feels like it changes tone a little bit, like how he's kind of presenting, because it's very much it throughout most of the movie. It's just a Keanu's soul's in balance. You have that sense that that's what this is all about, and that he's just kind of trying to lead him down that dark path, right? And so he's very much more laid back and loose, and to the point that I don't think those were written lines, that he just like said whatever the fuck he wanted. Look, these are some of the greatest Al Pacino lines, and I mean I'm including Scarface in that. I mean, so we had to watch it twice. Or over 2 nights, not watch twice, but I had to pause it because he's doing that scene when they're walking in Chinatown, and he leans in and he's trying to he's telling Keanu that the problem, that his weakness is that no one needs to see him coming, and he gives this whole anecdote about how he like banged some woman and she like can't walk right, and it's not like it wasn't a whole like rugby team, it was just little old me, and then he comes up with the greatest line. That had to have been, it could not have been scripted. He's like, I'm the hand under Mona Lisa's skirt. It's like, what? What does that mean? And I look, and Lisa had fallen asleep. And I was like, and that's how I knew, because Lisa hadn't said a word. Offended. Yeah. And Lisa hadn't said a word or made a noise or anything. I'm like, I know you're asleep.
If you hear that line and have no reaction, you might be comatose. You had to either be sleeping or like there's a medical emergency happening for sure.
Which then leads to him trying to find the tic-tac-toe chicken, which is just.
But didn't you say that he literally rejected this movie like 3 times before he finally liked the script?
He did. Yes.
So he was probably like, no. We're adding this shit in.
Yeah. I want to see those early versions of the script, right?
You got to imagine it was worse. Like, like you got to, they really primed it by this, whatever 5th iteration that they sent him.
So I think they probably let him have a lot of say in how he handled the character, and I think for the most part it worked out. Again, I think he played it the way it probably should have been, which is a more fun, loose devil. I think, and Lisa was asking about the thing. I mean, if you're going by that, he's the more Faustian or the more the Paradise Lost version. I mean, he's technically an angel. The whole can't walk in church. That's specifically for demons, and demons, by and large, weren't fallen angels. They were created after the fact, so they can't go to church. Doesn't mean he can't.
Sure, I don't know if there's really a whole lot of logic to how this all works, but.
There's some rules. It's like vampires. There's some rules. Some works break it up.
Look, when Al Pacino, just like Godfather, when Al Pacino goes into a church, bad things happen. That's just the general rule for Al Pacino. That's just general rule.
I mean, I don't know. This movie's got some great scenes. I love when the one partner or whatever makes a threat and then gets like beaten up by like hobos in the park. But they're all
hobos with like tree branches was pretty brutal.
But they're all dressed. But like all the joggers running after them are all wearing the colors of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. That's fantastic. And of course, the last one, Death, is the 2 hobos in like black, just beating them to death. The face change visual effects was pretty interesting. I mean, Lisa, how'd you think? Did that look dated to you?
Oh, that was creepy as shit.
Yeah, I thought that looked really good.
I didn't expect it the first time. I don't know if it was Was it her going dress shopping with them when it happened the first time? And I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah,
and then the devil hands were grabbing her too. That was the crazy part.
Yeah.
Not the face.
Now let me ask y'all this, because I don't think we've touched on it yet. Do you guys feel like she was also supposed to give into temptation? And if she had, then her life would have been different? Because at the same time that Keanu's just really leaning into it, she's really leaning the hell out. She's like, no, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. But I almost wonder if she had given into the greed and given into all that sort of stuff, he probably would have let her get pregnant. You know, like, I feel like he stopped her from getting pregnant. I feel like if she had given into all of it, he would be like, yeah, here's your baby. Here's everything, you know?
Well, in the mental hospital, she says, you know, he was greedy from day one. I mean, at the very beginning of the movie, I mean, Keanu Reeves basically gets, you know, this clearly a molester guy off on a semi lie that the girl told because she didn't want to be the only one who had been molested by this guy, but she had been. As soon as that happens, this courtroom is pandemonium, right? The guy, like the dad, I think of the girl who was on the stand, is just coming after. So you son of a bitch. Everyone wants to murder him. Yeah. And then what is Charlize Theron like? Good job, honey. Let's go drink. Yeah. Like she was in on it from the beginning. At the beginning, she was also greedy. She wanted to go to New York, right? All this
she
stuff.
Was.
Then when she was there, she moved away.
More of a redemption arc, whereas Keanu just falls right into it. So
exactly.
Yeah,
I
agree.
She turned away, but I think she thought it was maybe too late for her, right? All these things happen. I mean, here I got to read this quote. John Milton. Well, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most depraved act of sexual theater known to man, 1 being your average Friday night run through at the Lomax's house, I'd say, not to be immodest, Marianne and I got it on at about 7. That's a quote. Yeah. That's a direct quote. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Marianne gets it. So he gets raped by the devil. Very, again, Rosemary's Baby-esque. I mean, so many things happened to her. I felt so bad. Her husband was garbage. She goes to New York. She gets like Stepford-wived from the jump, raped by, the devil, can't have kids. I mean, she wants, man, it was a bad news for her. I felt very bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think, obviously she's being pushed. To answer your question, Lisa, I think she's being pushed out in order to clear the way for Christabel and the final end game. I don't think. Yes. I think
she never had a chance.
I think her leaning in would have just end up being in some weird like sex orgy thing with other lesser people.
Okay, she never had a chance.
I don't think she never had a chance.
It was a Rosemary.
He needed to get her out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think she had just realized the extent of her sin by the end of it, and that's what made her very aware of what was going on. Right.
Marianne. Hold the devil's hand.
Now let's get to the kind of the ending here, because it's certainly a change. So once Marianne does kill herself in custody while she's at the psychiatric ward, and we find out that things are even more convoluted than they were. It's not just a simple. Yeah. It's not just a simple. Is Keanu going to go to hell or not? It's no, he is the half son of Satan. So that's fun.
His pious mom went to New York.
Well, she was pious after the fact, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Went to New York one time and then got knocked out by the devil. But I mean, to be fair, what are you going to do against the devil? It sounds like he seems to be a ladies' man, if you will. So
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm just glad Keanu didn't ask what number on the, or I'm glad Al Pacino didn't tell him what number on the scale.
Oh, for
him and his mom. Yeah,
that's sure. That's mercifully, I guess. Yeah, that was probably the extended cut. Hear that. Your mom was 8.5. Wow, and she's got a.
There it is.
Great ass.
God, I was waiting for it. I thought that's what you were going to lead in with.
Yes.
Jesus. Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. What did you think about this sort of turn that the whole end game is really that? Yeah, his He is John Milton's son. Christabel is his half daughter, and they need to make a baby to make the Antichrist.
Yeah, 2 of his kids.
What did y'all think about this?
He is definitely into his sister so hard. It's gross. I just wrote at one point in my notes, I guess his sister's into foot stuff. That's a thought that went through Keanu Reeves' head in this movie while he's with his wife. Worst husband ever. Keanu Reeves' character, while this is happening, is going, yeah, my sister would probably like me putting her foot in my mouth.
Well,
that is a phrase that his character thought during this movie.
Well, he is a Floridian, so I mean, this makes.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all.
But, I mean, he doesn't know it's his sister. That's got to be at least a half sister at that. I don't know why I'm putting in technicalities.
Okay. Did Mitch turn into a lawyer before this episode started? Only a half sister. I gotta put it in the public record there.
So fun story, Nate. I was actually I took the
how can this segue be anything?
I took the LSAT and I was actually looking into going to law school at one point.
Oh, interesting.
I decided not to because I didn't want to do that. But
you were in the bathroom.
I realized I didn't want to do.
You were in the bathroom. Getting ready to decide if you want to be a lawyer or not. A loud sound happened out of nowhere, and then you saw your life. What was your life?
I did want to have to work for Al Pacino.
What's Mitch's version of this movie? Like, what do you go on to do? Like,
no, I was gonna go do corporate law, which seems like
God. Well,
yeah.
You're like, my soul is definitely gone, so I'm gonna pause on that.
Right.
I got worked out pretty well.
Right. I appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know. This whole part really takes it out of the movie a little bit to me. I think.
Really?
I don't know.
You think?
It's a weird element, right? Like, it would have been better had they just done the bedazzled, like he John Milton needs his like millionth soul, and this was the one he's like going for.
There's a banner. 1 million.
Right. Like he needs this in order because he talks about the millennium coming up, which is what he's kind of working toward.
It's pronounced
I thought
the
it was
millennium.
fine. I thought it was fine, and I thought it explained everything. I thought it explained the reason he's never lost a case. Because his dad's the devil.
He's very good at persuasion.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
So
he's got that persuasive genius.
I didn't see it coming for sure.
Yeah.
But I wasn't upset about it.
Sure. It's not that it's a bad twist. I just mean that it kind of like, all right. I don't know. It's a weird twist to have in there to me. It's not that it doesn't make sense. Yeah, they worked it out well, but I don't know. On second viewing, it wasn't as
punchy.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it.
What's okay?
Yeah.
So we're in the end game now. In Double Twist, though, you find out that he's a devil's son, but bum, none of this really happened. It happened in the blink of an eye when Keanu is taking a break from his original case.
But it's when the sound effect happened, and that sound effect is so freaking loud, and you're like, "What happened?" In the beginning, like, "Okay, got it."
So, what did you think about that twist, Mitch? Was that more preferable, or was that a cop out?
I felt that was a cop out.
Yeah,
he should have just ended. Look, when he shoots himself and it's free will, and he says free will and boom and done. That should have been it. Now going back and being like, oh, it was all a dream. It's just not great. I don't know. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not the worst twist, but it's that kind of crap always kind of takes it out of you because it's like, what was kind of the point, right? However, props to the big ass like art tableau thing behind him. I don't know how much of the 50-some million they spent to get the visual effects for that thing. That still looks great.
That gray sculpture, whatever thing, was fantastic.
Fantastic.
I want it. I want it in my house.
That looks just as good as anything out today. Money well spent.
Very good.
But anyway, yeah. So that I don't know. I mean, Lisa, what'd you think? Because I seem to recall that when it was the all a dream thing, I thought you didn't care for it as much.
It was okay. I think I told you that I would have preferred it if they had kept everything as it actually happened. But then the last bit of it was him actually going back to the restaurant in the hotel, trying to find a new woman to have another baby so he could try this whole thing again. Because, I mean, he said he kept trying, right? He would have kids and they kept being disappointments. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's just start over again. You know, I thought that would have been a good ending, but.
You mean out of those thousands and thousands of kids, he couldn't find one to have sex with his half sister? That's
apparently not.
But I think it's got to be like, they have to be like good. Like they have to be like, or they have to be like, they can't be like a Christian or religious of any kind, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. They have to be like really good at their job. They have to be like the Michael Jordan of their job. There's some criteria.
Yeah,
I think.
Look, nepotism aside, you've got to at least be fucking like,
yeah, you got to earn it a little bit.
Competent at what you're doing.
Yeah. So
it's dad industry.
So you think he was actually a good lawyer and not just because his dad kept helping him win the cases?
I think his ability was enhanced by being the son of the devil and maybe getting some of that, ability to influence people more than a normal person, but he was also good. So the combination was.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you, Nate.
Yeah.
So he decides to be good, and he recuses himself from the trial and is going to get disbarred because he's like, not going to represent this dude who's like massaging, who's like being creepily massaging the underside of a desk during
that desk needed to go to therapy afterwards. Holy shit.
That desk should have been called as a witness.
So fucking gross. Yeah, that guy was greasy even by Florida standards. Wow,
yeah,
he was sweating instantaneously.
And so then he's leaving the courtroom, and then now a third twist. I mean, you're getting double-decker twists in this movie.
Yeah, you're getting
the press guy wants to do like a story about him. He's like, we're gonna put you all over. Everyone needs to hear your story. We're gonna make you huge. He's like, all right, fine, call me in the morning. And then it turns out to be Al Pacino. And he's like, vanity.
Got him.
Yeah. That at least that twist saved it was all a
that
dream
twist saved the other twist. Yes.
But did. I just feel like that's just there's got to be a set number of twists where this is just too many twists.
No,
it's we're watching a fucking pretzel at this point. Just it's
I love pretzels. Pretzels are great.
I don't know. Anything else?
Yeah,
oh, good.
Yeah. It was a little excessive at the end, but I did not care. Loved it. Did not mind it one bit.
Oh God. Lisa, anything else you want to talk about with this movie? I mean, this is again your first time. I've been holding off on you watching this. I wanted you to do it for the episode.
There was just so many creepy, just Al Pacino is the creepiest.
I'm the creepiest.
He's so good.
Creepiest.
He's so freaking good. Yeah.
Even asking her at the party to pull her hair back, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I love it too. Just straight up. I do it myself, but everyone would think that I'm, that we're, fucking around or something. It's like.
It was, yeah. Just the creepiest.
Yeah, man. So good.
All right. Well, look, we need to know, what is y'all's final cut?
Final cut.
Nate, I mean, you love this movie. Set the bar. Go ahead and set that high bar for us.
I like it. I like it a lot. This is the most Pacino I've ever done by far.
No.
I'm totally okay with that. I might need to get it back, to get that in the rotation, along with my not McConaughey. Look, this movie's good.
What if it had been Matthew McConaughey instead of Keanu Reeves?
Oh, wait, so he does Devil's Advocate, and then he goes to do Lincoln Lawyer right after.
Lucifer's Lincoln Lawyer.
The Lucifer Lawyer, and then the Lincoln Lawyer. That's absolutely. Lisa's loving this. And okay, would you like to have seen McConaughey over Keanu on this one? Ooh.
That's a rough call.
He could have been good in this, I think. I think
he could have been good in this too.
Could have been good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
His accent certainly would have been better.
Gainesville. All right. He'd be too calm for this. I just can't see him getting worked up enough.
He could get worked up, right? I don't know. He got worked up in whatever those.
All right, sorry, I derailed us. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Like, this movie's great. They don't make this kind of level of movie, like these $50 to $60 million movies. Where's the movie where, like, what is it? I'm trying to think of what that one was with. It was End of Days, right? With like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like, where are those movies? Or like the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger, was it The Sixth Day? God, he's in a lot of day movies with him where he like clones him. Let me ask you like, where there's movies don't exist anymore.
Let me ask you a quick question about this budget though for a second. I don't know if you mentioned it earlier and I missed it, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Craig T. Nelson's apartment in this is Donald Trump's actual apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of gold.
Yeah. So how much of this ginormous budget went to renting out that apartment for the day?
It was one scene. I don't
and they name dropped him earlier at the party that he was supposed to be there.
He was supposed to come, but he didn't.
He was supposed to be there.
He was too busy doing a cameo in Home Alone 2, so he couldn't make it. Yeah, this movie's great. Like, I love it. These types of movies. I just looked it up. The End of Days movie that I thought was like a small whatever movie was literally made for $100 million with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, insane. They're not making these types of movies anymore.
Yeah, because how many people went to go see End of Days in theaters, Nate?
I don't know, it made like $200 some million in the box office. Whatever.
That is a return on its investment.
It is. Sure. It's a return on investment. Okay. What am I going to give this movie? It's an 8 or a 9. It's an 8 or a 9. It's high. If I had to give this one an 8, I give an 8. It's very good. It's got flaws. It's got some flaws, but it's fun. It's a fun 8. So fun.
Sure.
Watch this. It's great.
I'm high on it. I'm not as high as on it as you, Nate.
You're not as high as me. That's fair.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this 7 out of 10. I
didn't give it a thing.
I don't even know. There's so much.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 Tic-Tac-Toe chickens.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's good. It's good. Lisa, all right, yeah, bring it home. The first time you seen this, what did you think? Let me ask you this before you give the answer. What did you think you were going to think about this movie when?
Yeah, give us.
Like, what did I think? That's deep.
What was your expectation coming into this film
deep.
without watching a trailer?
I thought I was gonna really like it because we watch so much garbage.
Okay, so you've come full circle. At first you're like, I'm gonna hate everything, and now you're like, I was like,
this one might be okay.
Yeah,
it's got Al Pacino, it's got Keanu Reeves. It's presumably not about anything terrible. It's not going to keep me up at night with nightmares.
Okay.
So
yeah, sure.
I thought I was going to like it. I liked it. It was okay. The more that we talked about it, the more I'm like, eh.
Oh no.
I know. I'll probably give it, I don't know. I'm waffling. I'll probably stick with Mitch. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, that's
creepy. Al Pacino smiles.
High up there. Is there any other type of Al Pacino smile?
I don't know.
I feel like there's just one. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'm very pleased by how this went. I thought I was the only one who liked this. So I'm very happy.
It's a fun movie. It's good. It's, I think there are elements, well, some folks will maybe question whether it's truly a horror film.
It's not like a straight horror film.
No, but there are movies there's parts that are genuinely.
Yeah, there's a whole section that's Rosemary's Baby. There's a Rosemary's Baby section of the whole movie.
Yeah. I think that's the litmus test. If you can compare it to any other horror film, and it fits in, then it counts. So, all right. Well, look, that is going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Nate, where can they find us?
You can find us, as always, at TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre, Instagram, and Facebook. Email us, texaspodcastmassacre@gmail.com. Let us know. Don't send us how the devil would get you, because then Mitch might use that against you in the future. So don't do that.
It's true.
But send in I would love to. I got to go on the internet and now see who does the best Al Pacino voice, because I need this in my life now. That was Al Pacino's got a great voice. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, any other podcast platform, and we will put the movie on the list. I think, Mitch, we are through all the requests.
Yes. So we've gone through all the requests.
Is finally happened. So keep those 5-star reviews coming in.
And just in time, because next month is going to be, is it our first full theme month of the year?
That is correct.
Ooh, yes. So we've got a theme month coming your way, and it's I mean, look, it's a doozy. I would say it's going to be
doozy.
God, it's all I'll tell you right now is that there's gonna be a lot of battles going in the podcast studio.
A lot of battles
going as we're discussing these things. I think a lot of strong opinions on one side or the other. It's gonna be something. Certainly there's one movie that I have been, since the beginning of this podcast, I've been wanting y'all to watch, and I am so thrilled that we're finally watching it. I don't even care if the movie sucks. I'm just glad we're watching it together. That's how beat down I am with this request of trying to get y'all to watch this movie. Just happy we're just doing it. I don't even care anymore. This movie could suck ass. I'm still giving it a 10 out of 10 just because of the experience.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, Lisa, as always, thanks for hanging out with us. Nate, thank you for holding down the fort. And
I answered the call. No worries.
Yeah. Yep. And with all that said, thank you from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre. Thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.